Honestly, what the hell is Carlos Sainz thinking going to Williams? Like, this is just a bad idea on his part. I know, we were all talking, especially me, about him going to Red Bull. Apparently, that seat is closed. It's going to Daniel Ricciardo. Mercedes was an option for him to go on a 1 year contract. The thought process was that he didn't want to do that because he wanted like a multi-year contract. He didn't just want a 1 year contract. But even assuming he can get to Mercedes, I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Like let's just like go down the line. Like right now, the best team in the mid to bottom field is clearly Haas. Clearly, it's clearly Haas, and they have an open seat or at least they did, right? And if he had made the decision to go to Haas like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he could have gotten that. You're telling me that Carlos Sainz couldn't have gotten that Esteban Ocon seat? Of course he could have. So why did he go to Williams? It just makes no sense whatsoever. This team is terrible. This team is dog shit. James Vowles has been played up by the media and especially Netflix as this like savant in waiting, this genius who's gonna take the teams to new levels. Like we saw what happened this year. They have 4 points this year. I know that last year they got 28 points. Like that's pretty impressive. I mean, it was mainly like two different races. They got the majority of their points, but still. But like, look at the year before. 8-23. Like this team is not good. This team doesn't have the money. This team doesn't have the money for two chassis. At least Haas has never like not put out a driver because of a lack of chassis. Like they've always figured it out. Williams is just a cluster F. And most importantly, why didn't he go to Sauber? I know that Sauber have 0 points this year, but Williams have four. Like, are you really telling? And like last year, like Williams had 28 and Alfa Romeo had 16. So it's not like they really beat them the year before. And like, let's look at the year before that. Williams had 8. Alfa Romeo had 55. Like this is an actual team that can do things and is getting Audi money and just got Matea. And I know like maybe there might be bad blood between Carlos Sainz and Matea, but like okay, like where would that come from? What? Because he chose, Charles Leclerc over you, Carlos Sainz. I mean, Charles Leclerc was the golden boy for that team. Like you knew this before you got to the team that it's Charles Leclerc's team. So why Williams when you could have gone to Sauber? And by the way, when I made this video in the beginning of the year, I said he shouldn't go to Mercedes. But over the past 4 or 5 weeks, I didn't want to make another Carlos Sainz video, but I should have just so I can have this on the record. Like the idea of a 1 year Mercedes contract looks so good right now because Kimi Antonelli, like, yeah, he's probably gonna get the seat next year. It's not confirmed yet, but like, if you can give Toto an option to have you in that seat for a year, sit Kimi, have him practice a little bit more, maybe send Kimi to Williams. Like you're coming out at the end of that year with at least like 1 or 2 race wins. The way that Mercedes has been performing recently, and now at like Williams, you're gonna be struggling to get a couple points per race. I know that people are gonna give you the Alexander Albon treatment, where they're gonna say, "Oh, he's doing a lot with a bad car," but like there's a difference between pity points and real points. And Alexander Albon's getting a lot of pity points, but he's not getting a lot of real points. He's not getting a lot of real offers coming his way. So I think this is a terrible decision. I think he should have taken the Mercedes contract for 1 year, or should have gotten to Sauber to be part of that rebuilding process. How old is Carlos Sainz? Is he like 28? He's 29. So you have a good 10 years left. So why not be part of this project? Why not build this team from scratch? Have it be your team. And one thing that Carlos Sainz is really good at, I did a whole video about this, is building teams up. So like, why not do that with Sauber? Make them a superstar. They're getting the money. They're getting Matteo Binotto, and at Williams you're gonna be struggling to get Makes no sense, especially because I've been a Carlos Sainz stan for a while now. Like, this is just gonna be pathetic, pathetic. And by the way, Carlos Sainz is one of the only two drivers to win a race in each of the last 2 years. Him and Max Verstappen are the only two that have won in each of the last 2 years, and he's going to Williams. Despicable.